guys, how's everybody doing out there? Well, today is the day, and I'm here because I'm here to tell you that I watched it, I looked at it, I studied it, and I watched it, and honestly, I liked it. What did I like? Well, the title's down below, you should already know. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. The first 2 episodes came out today on Disney Plus, and I must say it was good. Not great, but good. I enjoyed it very much for what they are attempting to do. First of all, I want to give a shout out to the art style. I like the art style. It's very Steve Ditko, definitely. You clearly see the art direction for this. And I do agree with some people saying that it's a little choppy, like it's a little stiff, and I get that. I see where they're coming from with that. But overall, it's very, very Steve Ditko-esque. And for me, there's some things about it that I appreciate it. And afterwards, I may go on a little rant afterwards. I might not do it, so just bear with me on that at the end. But the first 2 episodes were pretty good. I really enjoyed it. We get to see Peter in the first episode, and he is on his way to his first. He's a freshman in Midtown High, so that was cool. What I loved that they really kind of showcased, and they caught me off guard when they first, was how they inserted Uncle Ben. So Uncle Ben is mentioned in this. So for anybody who was like, oh, this is just MCU Spider-Man, no, it's not, because Uncle Ben is mentioned right in the first episode, and they talk about he's gone, and even they show when Aunt May's driving Peter to school, you actually see her wedding ring. And I love how they transition to that, because they're talking about, Peter's talking about everything that's been going on, and you're like, oh, okay, something must have happened. So the first episode was really about just getting to know the cast and the supporting cast, and yeah, we do get a superhero, another Marvel hero in this. We get Doctor Strange. He is shown in this, dealing with, it looks like, I didn't take this as maybe a symbiote or Venom, but it did look like Venom. It had all the color schemes of Venom, and it is causing havoc in Midtown High. And also in between that, you see a spider is in between there, and it falls from the portal that the Venom lookalike came from. So they play that up. It was great. You see Doctor Strange doing his thing. He's being a little sarcastic, but also having his cloak of levitation take care of students. He's like, handle that kid over there, and the cloak goes off and things like that. And you all right, kid? Yeah. Peter helps out, especially when the symbiote starts coming after a fellow student. That student being Nico, Minora from the Runaways, the same Nico. So it's cool. When they introduced each other, the spider had already landed on Peter and he got bit, and then he passes out. And then it picks up later where he is now, and you see what he's doing, which was fine. So we get an indication that we also get to see that we get to see the version of Lonnie Lincoln, aka Tombstone, and he's very depicted as a sports an athlete, but he doesn't want. That's not really what his purpose is, which I really like. I like that they threw that stereotype out of, most blacks, we just go for sports, and then that'll lead us to the big time and da-da-da-da. No, he was like, I don't want this. So he was different. I love how Peter kind of misjudged him on that, even though Lonnie is going with a girl that Peter likes. In this universe, Peter has a crush on his babysitter, who was like, I think 2 years older than him. So Peter likes older women. Okay, I was fine with that. But he and Nico are good friends. We do see Harry. We do see We do see some other people like in the first episode. We do see Peter facing an arsonist and things like that. I love how his web shooters work is in this. Like, he really has to turn on the pressure and everything like that. But it's still Peter. It's still Peter Parker, and I like that very much. I thought that was fine. I thought it was a good twist to what they did. It is MCU adjacent, but you can clearly see that they're going another direction with a lot of things. And I appreciate that too. But the art style is really what kept gravitating, making me like, oh, I love the art style, because it looks just like Steve Ditko just drew this, and now it's in motion. So it was fun. The episode 1 ends kind of like it ended with similar to Civil War, where we saw Aunt May talking to Tony Stark, but in this it was Norman Osborn. So, and of course Norman wants him to join up with his and become like a work with his think tank and things like that. And then of course then we flip to the second episode, and in the second episode we get to see Peter doing more stuff. He starts realizing that he's stronger than he is, things like that. It just kind of also shows just the good nature in Peter. Like, there's one scene where he captures this girl who was steal money from this pizza shop. He comes back and gives the money to the man, and he says to her, like, and she says, look, I saw the money. I lost my job. They play up a lot of things, and you see Peter like, maybe we can let her go, and then he tells her, like, please don't make me feel like I did the right thing, and then you turn around and do something else. So I really appreciate that kind of stuff. And like I said, we get to see more of Lonnie, because Lonnie really, he seems to like Peter. He likes Peter a lot, and we get to see that they play up some things in the show that caught my eye real quick, especially with Lonnie. While Peter was going to catch his train, Lonnie had to take another train, and instead of leaving, he was going further uptown, and we see where he got off at. He got off at 125th Street, so he lives in Harlem, which is fine. And even on the train, we see him sitting on the train. An older woman is coming, and with her little boy, and he smiles at her, and he can sit down, and she just pushes him aside and so, come on. And I'm like, whoa, they actually did that. Then of course Lonnie is walking home, and a cop car pulls up by him and is just following him for a minute. So he looks at him almost like, what are you looking at? Again, it was things like that made me like, whoa, okay, this is different. This is a little different, because they have never done that. And for anybody out there that look at this and say that was woke and everything, no, that's reality. That's reality for people like us. So yeah, it made, I appreciate the showrunners for doing that. I appreciate that. And I also showcase that Lonnie's family really appreciate, even though they kind of stereotyped Harlem a little bit, because Harlem is nothing like the way they were depicting it. I'm like, he was going upstairs, and then next to him, somebody was breaking into something, and you saw two guys run. I'm like, Harlem ain't like that no more. It's nothing like that no more. But yeah, I still appreciated the kind of the realism of what they were doing. Even the whole concept of the trains. Like, I love that they actually, you hear the train, stand clear of the closing doors. I'm like, as the New Yorker in me, I'm like, that's the subway. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate what they have shown. And then we see with Peter in his advanced kind of class with as Oscorp, and we see Amadeus Cho. We see Wakandan. She I forget what was her name. She said she was from Wakanda, and I forget the other girl. And then of course their teacher. Well, he wasn't. I guess he was like their. His name was Whitman, Dr. Whitman, and I'm like, is he related to Deborah Whitman? So I was like, okay, caught that name real quick. As the Spider-Man universe, I know very well. And of course, they did something very different in this. They swapped genders with Dr. Connors, and I know that's gonna probably piss some people off, and I don't care because I was like, all right. And we see that, yeah, she's missing an arm, but Dr. Connors, I'm fine with that. I'm like, look, I seen enough. I don't mind that they switched it. If they still tell the same story of Dr. Connors sometime in the future, fine. It's a different universe. Get over it. But we, at the end of the film, at the end of the episode, we do know that we find out that, Osborn found out that Peter is Spider-Man, and I'm like, at first, when they revealed that, I was like, okay, I guess it's fine. He find out now, so it's fine. The first two episodes were good. They were good, not great, but good. Not a lot of action, but storytelling wise, like I said, storytelling wise, you're getting to know the characters. You're getting to know who these people are, who the supporting cast, and then you got the main character of Peter. And already you're seeing, that Parker Luck, playing. He's trying to balance his life as Spider-Man and balance his life as a student, and the typical Peter Parker thing, that what we love about him is like he's real, and I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next and things like that. But it was a good start. It was a very good start. I'm not gonna complain. I can't complain. I can't complain really, because when I was watching it, I'm just like I was enjoying it, and I like the intro. I like the mixture of the classic theme with a little bit of an updated theme to it. Now, with that being said, I have some issues with what I've been seeing online, and I know I shouldn't let this stuff get to me, but it does get to me. It does, and I've seen on Thread, I've seen on Twitter X, and I've seen mostly those two. And people are like, oh, all these black people, all these different colored people in here, like, and I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, of all states, New York should never, ever be chastised for having different ethnicities. This is New York we're talking about. I see that stuff every day. People of different colors. And you think that there are no blacks in Queens? I'm like, I saw that somebody put that comment, and I'm like, are you stupid? Where are you from? Where are you from? It's the dumbest thing to say. I've been to every borough in New York City. We're in the Bronx, we're in Manhattan, we're in Brooklyn, we're in Staten Island, and we're in Queens. So what the fuck is wrong with you? Get over yourself. New York should be the one city. New York City should be one of the few that nobody should be complaining about. Oh, this is this and oh, that is that. Wokeness my ass. Again, stupid. Outside of that, like I said, I wanted to give a little rant. I would have went harder, but I said, you know what, don't do it. But outside of that, like I said, guys, it was a fun treat. It was good. It may get better. It probably will get better. But outside of that, yeah, it was fun. I had nothing really to complain about. I saw some of the teasers and the winks and the characters, and I'm like, okay, we know who that character is. We know who this character is. And then I'm starting to look in my head. I'm like, with Nico, I'm looking at it, I'm like, are we going to get into her story? Will we get to see a little bit more of her backstory, that she's not as she's hiding some things about her as well, her family. We all know that. Will she get a certain staff in the future? Who knows? Like Lonnie, for example, will he stay on the straight and narrow in this world and not become, Tombstone, because he doesn't look like he is. And, we know probably the first costume, his big costume comes from Norman. And I mean, we see teasers, like we see people all around, and it's fine. The hints are there. The Doctor Strange was fun. It was fun to see Doctor Strange. I know a lot of people are looking forward to seeing Daredevil, because not only will Daredevil become like a mentor to Peter, but it's going to be voiced by Charlie Cox. So he's going to reprise his voice on there. So that's fine. I'm looking forward to seeing what other Marvel heroes are going to be in the show that are not just posters or anything like that. Because we saw Norman, he was standing next to Captain America and things like that. And in Aunt May's card as a like one of those cards, and it's got Iron Man. So they mentioned Iron Man, the arc reactor and all that stuff. But I'm fine. Nothing to complain about. It was fun. I love the artwork. I love the art style because it just reminded me of classic Steve Ditko. Even just the way he looks. Peter's got the glasses and everything like that. Is fine. But the first 2 episodes of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man was all right. Was all right indeed. I look forward to seeing the rest, and I will leave it up to you guys. Do you want me to do weekly reviews, or do you want me to just do a season overview later on? Because if you do, that is fine. If not, I won't do it. I'll just do a season overview. I wanted to get this out and also mention to all my free Patreon members. There are a couple of polls on the list on the Patreon now, and one of them is about Creature Commandos. I have not watched Creature Commandos yet, and if you want me to do reactions to those Creature Commandos, put your vote down. I got this poll up for 2 weeks, and if y'all want it, then I'll do reactions to it and put it up on the Patreon for all members, not just paid members. So look forward to seeing that as well. Well, you guys take care, and I'll see you guys next time.